Cam Newton.
Sure.
Yep, cut loose.
We didn't mention that.
No,
We didn't.
I mentioned it now.
You're mentioning it
this
very,
is the mention.
very nonchalantly right now.
I'm looking at you with the look of like, do you have anything to say about Cam Newton being cut? Because it's where'd you go? Where's he end up? What's going to happen? What are you going to do?
That was obviously the most shocking news for me today. It was not Des Fitzpatrick, although that did raise my eyebrows a little bit because I knew there was going to be ramifications from Rich. Well, yeah, I mean, that's obviously they saw what they needed to see out of Mac Jones, clearly. And I don't think the COVID mix-up helped Cam one bit where he missed a whole week of practice and kind of let them see exactly what they had in the youngster.
Which is good stuff.
Yeah, he's operated the offense well. I think now it gives him the opportunity to, I think, just tailor the stuff to the young guy a little bit more. Mac Jones obviously has a different style than Cam Newton and probably a better, more accurate thrower of the football and less mobile, obviously. But as far as, who this benefits on the Patriots themselves, I mean, I feel like
Damian Harris tremendously.
Yeah, this is the running backs that get the biggest boost for sure because they're going to be trying to set up this young guy for success by running the ball and throwing a bunch of short passes. That's at least how I see this playing out personally. What do you guys think?
Keneal Harry had a good rapport going on early for his shoulder.
Keneal
Harry?
He's back.
Keneal. I said Nikhil.
No, you said Keneal.
You said Keneal. Evil Keneal.
I know I did.
Keneal.
Nikhil.
I know I did. I know I did.
I know. Listen, I know what I did. Cut it out.
I was trying to move on.
I did it on purpose. No, I didn't. He had a good rapport. Probably a good sign for a guy like Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, keeping things short. But Damian Harris is obviously the biggest benefit here, at least for the goal line carries. And James White still, talk about a running back that has gotten no run whatsoever. One of the most all-time best fantasy PPR running backs over the last decade, James White alone there. He might get a slight boost here as well.
I think it's interesting that they kept all those. I mean, they kept Ramondre, they kept Harris, they kept J.J. Taylor.
J.J. Taylor is an interesting one.
And they kept James White. And I feel like those two guys are redundant, but unfortunately, I think for the Patriots, J.J. Taylor just showed too much. They couldn't sneak him back onto the practice squad after what he showed in the preseason. So I think they kind of forced their hand into keeping all four of those guys.
Yeah, he was a guy that I really liked over the past 2 seasons. Just talked about what that role could potentially be. It would obviously look much better if James White was not there.
Right.
But it's set up for him to be that guy in the future. They've seemed to always have that pass catching back, whether it's been James White or Brandon Bolden or whoever it's been over the course of Bill Belichick's career. There always seems to be a pass catching back. I think he's going to be the next in line, and he's talented. He's very talented. Yep.
It's a team that throws to the football. Now, having Mac Jones there might help. I mean, this is a team over the last 3 years has targeted their running backs has targeted James White 280 times over the last 3 years. He's caught 280 of those passes for 1,771 yards and 13 touchdowns. So there is production and value to be had there. Mm-hmm. An interesting note there.
And one of the things that Mac Jones did really well on tape in college was kind of navigate those kind of screen passes and all the garbage coming at him and still be able to move just enough because he's not a real mobile guy, but move just enough to get that ball to those running backs and those other, tight ends on those kind of inside screen passes. So I think it's a skill set that's going to suit Mac Jones and the running backs and tight ends that they have.